feedback, and they were laughing. So I think you did a good job with that because you did have the audience laughing along with that. In closing, you mentioned Tyler, and maybe it was just me not following along, but I just didn't see how that kind of tied in or re-emphasized the main point. I'm just following. So I didn't get that. Maybe you can fill me in later. And how comfortable and confident was the speaker in telling jokes and story? I would say you were semi-comfortable, and the only reason why was because like the stank breath, it just keeps sticking out because I felt like there wasn't a flow to it, and like you were well prepared on giving that analogy or whatever it was. And so I would say you were semi-comfortable. And also that you choked up. You choked up a little bit. So that's kind of how I gauged you're semi-comfortable. And lastly, were the jokes amusing to you? To me, I felt as that with that one joke, I was like, okay, I get it. But from here it says to that I didn't see that you were supposed to use a self-deprecating joke. I probably missed that. And composed of several jokes. I don't think you used enough jokes. But for me, it was amusing in the way that like you were using comedy with this heavy topic. So that's about it. Thank you.
In my excitement, I forgot to remind you guys to evaluate Zack from his speech. So if you could take a moment to evaluate his speech using whatever method of writing that you're going to use, and then we'll hop back to do the rest of the evaluation.
By the way, I have an assignment for one of my classes to come here, so I'm going to take a selfie. Oh, there we go. One more. There we go.
Is everyone just about done with their evaluations? I'm going to go ahead and call Tyler Chan up to handle the rest of the evaluations. So he's going to help introduce the other two evaluators.
All right. So, we'll wait for Helen. No, I mean. That was our first evaluator. So now we go into our second evaluator. We have Sunny, who will be evaluating Tyler's speech. This evaluation will be 2 to 3 minutes. So 2 minutes green, 2 minutes 30 yellow, and then 3 minutes red.
So one thing that I learned about Tyler, and not that Tyler was a bad breath, of course, because I just passed him. And actually, sorry, Alex, I can't contest to what you said about his fast breath because I didn't smell it. Okay, so after learning about this Tyler, learned that this speech was ingenious in the sense that I learned a lot about it, a lot about him. It was inspiring in the sense that it made me realize that he has a lot of guts to not only recognize his fears, but face it head on like a bull. One of the things that I really liked about your speech was that your content was all there, your transition was very smooth. Some of the sentences I really, really thought were catchy. Some of the, I actually wrote it down because I really liked it, so I really want to remember. So some of the things that he said was, behind each fear is a person who want to be, who doesn't want to change, right? And become better version of themselves. So another thing that he mentioned was, after facing your fear, you become a different person. Ingenious, sorry. And another thing he said was, in life, you can't always run from fears. And in the sense, and now he's a third-year genetic major who can ride bulls and has amazing form. Muscle. Yeah. And also, I also like the transition. I don't remember if I said that, but I like your transition. You really, like, when you went through, you said you had your bull story, and then later you said second, which was your major, and then it was your bodybuilding, right? Oh, okay, I wrote it the other way. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. But one thing that I really thought that you could have done more was engage the audience a little more, because everyone has fears, and everyone over here is currently trying to face or overcome them. So maybe engaging your audience more and holding your eye contact like straight on. I thought maybe you could have done that a little better. Another thing is using your voice as a tool. That would have worked a lot more too, because voice, you can fluctuate your voice when you get excited, like how Jessica usually does and Alex usually does. Okay, that's what.
Now for the final evaluator, Jiten, who will be evaluating Zack's speech. Hey.
You know what did it? Oh, what did I do then? So, before I give evaluation for Zack, I like how ingeniously you used Tyler today for your speech. Okay, so coming back to Zack, he gave a speech on presenting an award to Alex, and he is supposed to be evaluated for dignity, grace, and sincerity in his speech. I'll go to each question one by one. Did the speaker clearly explain the purpose of the award? Yes. How effectively did the speaker convey the reasons the recipient deserved the award? So you gave multiple examples of why Alex deserves the award, beginning from how you met him for the first time, and how he came to you and talked to you. So it was good to relate, because a lot of us, all of us have the first day in Toastmasters, so you gave good examples, and I think everybody could relate to it. How sincerely was the speaker in his praise? How sincere was the speaker in his praise? I would say it was ingeniously. So you ingeniously roasted and praised him at the same time. What could the speaker have done differently to make the speech more effective? I personally believe, and I can be wrong about that, that it could have been better in the sense, because I have been listening to you multiple times, and I know your potential is up there, which I could not find, today. I always give you 10 on 10, but today I will give you, say, 8.5 today, okay? I like the second half of the speech, because this particular speech was about presenting an award. In the beginning, I got confused if it is about a roast or an award. So, because you did a lot of roasting in the beginning, I feel that it could have been more on, praising him, at least for this particular evaluation. What did I like about the speech? It was clear, it was ingenious and interesting. It was captivating for sure from the very beginning. And I also like how you smile in between your speeches, and I think, so even if there is a monotone going on, the moment you smile, it gives variety to your speech, and I think a lot of people smile the moment you smile, a lot of audience smiles at the same time. I think it is your, what should I say, it is your strength. And I have noticed it in all your speeches. Overall, I feel it was a great speech, but not up to your true potential. So I wish you good luck for your future speeches. Thank you very much.
All right, that concludes our speech evaluation section. Now can you please use the pieces of paper that you have to vote on your best speech and also the best evaluator. And you just pass it into the middle. Oh, and Mike, were all of our speakers and evaluators in time?
Only Tyler was in time for the speech.
Oh,
And,
so Tyler wins.
and for evaluations, Smriti and Jiten were in time.
Gotcha. This might be one of the rare times someone wins speaker while facing Alex in the same week.
And Zack.
And
Zack.
Usually Alex just landslides every meeting.
No.
All right, we got our votes in. Alex will count them up and announce the winners at the end of the meeting. So now we will bring up the Toastmaster of the day again to transition us to table topics.
Okay, so the table topics section is going to be led by our table topics master, who is not Jake, but is Jeremiah Bohn. So I want to remind people to please, again, use the word of the day, because there's a prize for the person that uses it the most correctly. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and bring Jeremiah up to the stage.
So keeping with today's theme of African American inventors, I created questions based on this topic. So the first one, Mark Dean is an African American inventor who co-invented the personal computer at IBM. We use the computer all the time for both school and fun. So I want someone to come up and tell me, what is your favorite thing to do on the computer? And I'm going to pick Mike.
So I like going on the computer probably like 2 to 3 hours a day, but I spend probably a third of that time on Facebook and Instagram and all that social media. I know that's really unhealthy now that I'm looking back at it, because the average person sleeps 8 hours a day. I spend a fourth of that time, 2 hours on Facebook, and just going to events on Facebook, liking things that don't really matter, and then end. So that's what I usually do. But sometimes when I actually have a lot of schoolwork, I go, and when I'm typing an essay, I actually go on the internet. So I go on Google Docs, and so I use that time. If I'm not using those 3 hours, I use, for example, another 2 hours just to work on schoolwork. And it takes a while because my computer's pretty slow, but I don't think that counts in the time using the computer. when I'm just waiting there, waiting for the computer to boot up. So overall, I think that using the computer, for me, I think it's actually an average amount, because I'm looking back, people use their phones probably at least 4 hours a day. And so for me, using the computer half of that time, I feel like that's a healthy amount compared to other people, which is still pretty decent. At least that's what I think. Although I've gotten pretty sick for using the computer 8 hours in one day. So my recommendation is just not do 8 hours. So I feel like I'm pretty healthy in that aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Now, second inventor is Lonnie G. Johnson. He invented the Super Soaker water gun. Many of you have used this or other things to do fun activities during your summer school break. So I want someone to come up and tell me, what is your favorite childhood memory during summer school break? And I don't know, what's your name? Yeah. Helen? Okay, come on up here. So the question was, what is your favorite childhood memory that you had during a summer school break? Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Helen, and as some of you know that I'm not like born and raised here in the U.S. So I could say like most of my childhood was in my hometown back in China, and you know, like we don't have this summer break for, I don't know, in the US it's from May to July maybe, but back in China it's like from June to August. So actually we had this really long summer break, and usually me and my cousins were back in my grandparents' home, and we enjoyed a lot of time there. And for me, the most interesting memory from my childhood and summer break is like how we actually, because my grandparents, they live in the countryside, and we had this really great, like large space of farms, and you can walk on the fields at night, and we actually